Talk to me, tell me how you feel. Make sure you keep it real though. You already know the deal. When you come around here, it's unfiltered, baby. Did you hear about what happened? It's about to be crazy. What? You wanna know my opinion? Let's get to the bottom of the whole situation. Is he stating facts or is she just hating? Did we witness something on the ground? It's history in the making. Let's talk about it, but make sure it's unfiltered. Nothing watered down. That's what the Henny's here for. Go ahead, take a sip. Loosen up your lips. We gon' tell it like it is. So keep away the kids. Let's talk fashion, politics, and the black man struggle. We gotta address the culture. Rest in peace to Nipsey Hussle. If it's hot, then we gon' talk about it. Send in your topics. You gotta tune in every week. Unfiltered, guess it poppin'. And you gotta know that it's unfiltered. Did it really just say that? Yeah, it's unfiltered. What you expect? It's time to get unfiltered. No holding back. This is unfiltered.
When you're dealing with unfiltered, we're going to talk about things that are going to be testy, but we got to get the people real. That's one thing that we want to be able to walk away from here knowing. It's like we kept it real.
And you got to know that it's unfiltered. Did it really just say that? Yeah, it's unfiltered. What you expect? It's time to get unfiltered. No holding back. This is unfiltered. This is unfiltered. This is unfiltered.
Quiet there. Everybody comfortable? We good to go? Yeah. Alright, cameras rolling. Alright, so it's gonna be a live show today. A lively show today, not a live show today. A lively show today. We got a few good topics. This is our casual conversation we have before we kind of build into everything. We got a little Nipsey playing in the background. Just to kind of help us set up the scene as well. There you go. Let's just do it some big voice because you know now this time we're going to be cut out a little bit by that part. Alright. So with that being said, welcome to the podcast where the thoughts are raw and the conversation gets real. Alright, so I'm Tab. I am your photographer, I'm your perfectionist. You can follow me on IG at Duro Photographies. That's DUROWE Photographies. Alright.
Focus at Freaky Focus on Instagram, Twitter, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, wherever. You know,
everything. Just Google.
I'm everything.
Google me.
Check me out. You
know, I'm Sammy Socialite. You can find me on Twitter at Sammy with a Y _socialite. On IG it's Samuel1190. You know, just check me out. Anything you need to know about anything on social media or entertainment, sports entertainment, I'm the guy.
Okay, so I am Shaq. You can follow me on Instagram, simply _Shaq. Have a very small business at Shaq's _closet with a Z.
Yeah, make sure that you follow that IG page. She got some really hot outfits on there. You'll love them. Alright, with that being said, let's go ahead. Let's get our day started. We're going to say a little bit of peace to Nips right now for music purposes. But let's pick up on Nipsey Hussle. So, first of all, as it was already stated, RIP to Nipsey Hussle. That was crazy. I thought it was a joke when I first seen it on IG. Not that it was supposed to be a joke, but it just didn't feel real.
Didn't it happen on April 1st though?
Yeah, so it was just like...
No, it happened on the 31st. It was like literally an hour after we left filming the first episode. It happened.
Yeah.
And
we could have an exclusive.
Like the flow of how it... Girl. The flow of how it happened, it was like he got shot. And everybody was like, oh, pray for Nipsey. You know, hopefully he'll pull through. And then like literally an hour later,
he was in critical condition. I remember I was posted over on, I was at some gas station, and one of my partners, he told me, he was like, hey man, Nipsey just got shot. So I'm looking, and then it's all my time on critical condition. Then somebody else pulled up, and it was like, bro, you heard Nipsey died. I'm like, bro, chill. No,
they just said he got shot.
He got shot. He in critical condition. Just chill. He gonna make it. My man gonna pull through. I was like, nah, he died. I'm like, no, what are you talking chill. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to hear it. But then I took my phone, I look at all through my timeline. Rest in peace again. That shit. For me, as far as like celebrity passings and stuff, like I've never felt it. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, okay, give me condolences, but it was never something where it was like I had a connection to none of these people. But
Right.
this one, like I feel it. Like now I can see like why people was crying over Michael Jackson and stuff.
Right.
Like this one, I had a connection to. Like this was my era. Like
It hurt like you
That's-
lived and
this
you
is
breathed
the-
like you.
That's crazy.
nah, but you gotta understand, like.
Yeah, everybody builds their own, different connections.
I don't know how. What made? Okay. How did Nipsey affect you so much to that level?
I actually listened to Nipsey's music and listened to what he talked about. Like he really goes deep. Like even before his passing, I was listening to Nipsey. Like Nipsey's all about building up the black community. He's all about starting and uplifting black businesses. Like and not even just talking about it, he was doing it. Like and for me, like I look at everything from a street standpoint. Like I look at he was a stand-up dude. Like one of these stand-up dudes. Like he was a dude that didn't take no shit, and at the same time he was a dude who gave respect where respect was due. And you don't find that all the time. And in this era where all these rappers out here coming out trying to be a joke, he was a dude who kept it real and wasn't doing no gimmick and was being him and promoting something positive. And we don't got that. And that's crazy that he died like that.
I really didn't listen to Nipsey music at all because it just wasn't my vibe, but I definitely knew about him. I had a good friend that really lived by Nipsey Hussle, and I always talked about all the great stuff he was doing. So I wasn't oblivious to what he was doing, but it's just interesting to hear how it affects different people. Because like for me, we lost a good guy, but what I'm hurting for most is like Lauren London and the family. Like that's tough too. Like being
It was a
in
lot
love
of
with somebody
conversation about
and
them.
losing them instantly like that.
And losing them publicly as well. Let's just add in the fact that she didn't get to privately grieve because a lot of other people probably knew about her situation before she had even officially found out about it. So everything has been out in the limelight, out in the public. And, we were just in their business saying that they were having an engagement photo shoot. And now all of a sudden we're in their business again, but we're talking about his passing, how she's grieving, and, just kind of reopening a wound that I'm sure she's in the process of trying to heal. Then we got to factor in, because a lot of people started bringing in his first baby moms and was just like, are we going to neglect the fact that she still see your face? Your face is already like, pathetic. But you got to factor her in too because she had his child. And so, it's like, okay, she has to deal with that whole aspect of, I don't know how she's going to continue to keep raising their child with that kind of a,
But the thing about it, Nipsey was a smart man, and he owns all the rights to all his stuff. And right now, everything is number one. Nipsey is number one everywhere on the charts.
yeah, we did the same thing to
so but the difference is with Nipsey, all those royalties go to his family because he owned everything.
Well, I also think that they're probably,
I'm pretty sure they got a nice insurance policy anyway.
But you gotta think about it too. I think
that's
that
a big deal. That's a very big deal.
I think that although
I'm like, shut yeah, everybody's like, I think that,
The floor is yours.
But I think that my personal connection with Nipsey Hussle was from a standpoint of what Sam was saying. I didn't personally listen to his music, But I think via like social media and stuff like that, a lot of people really liked Lauren London. So it's just like seeing them together, seeing that, you know, their connection and their love for one another seemed very like, you know, genuine. It was just like I kind of always admired that whole situation that they had, and to me I feel like they've kind of always been low-key. So regardless of all of this like foolishness going on social media, or people feeling like they have a say in their situation and how she should grieve and all this stuff, I personally think with her being so low-key, I don't think that she's probably even on social media right now. She made her like one little statement via her page, and
True that. True.
Alright, whoa. Before we get to reactions from social media and stuff like that, let me get a vote from conspiracy or no conspiracy.
I'm mixed.
We're gonna talk about it, but just a quick yes or no. Just get a vote.
I say it's hard, but given everything, I'll say
It's either yes or no.
I think it is a conspiracy.
Okay. We'll talk about it in just a second.
Definitely not a conspiracy. Shit, people die every day, B.
I say not a conspiracy.
Okay.
What?
You know, because I was really
shocked at that. I
Oh,
knew it was
food
conspiracy all day.
All day.
What?
Okay, so my initial thought process, yes. Currently, after hearing a couple of things, I'm gonna say no, but initially, yes.
Alright, so
Let's talk about
being
it.
the only
I thought that I was gonna have somebody that had my back on.
I'm gonna roll with you
this,
for half and half.
That's kind of how I felt like. I felt like it was a half and half situation. Like I feel that he was doing things in the community, and a lot of people are talking about this documentary that he was gearing up to try to release with Netflix concerning Dr. Sebi and his Cure for AIDS, and the whole case, you know, behind that whole situation. And I mean, a lot of people, I guess, conspired around that, because if you really think about it, I mean, the medical industry, they thrive off of sick people.
True.
So if you put it out there that, okay, this man had holistic methods of essentially curing people, that's gonna really like mess up that industry. And then even look at Dr. Sebi himself, like that whole situation seemed like a conspiracy to me, because he was probably one of the most healthy people on this earth, and it's just like
my only thing is he wasn't revealing something new though. This is a whole.
Oh no, I'm not saying it is new, but I think
but that's nothing. So with that being said, there's nothing to kill him over. Like it's open and free information.
it is open and free information, but was it something that?
Alright, so
Why you thought it was a conspiracy?
yeah, I thought it was a conspiracy for the main purpose of I'm sitting back and I'm visualizing the situation, and I'm like, okay, you got a young man here doing well. You know, I already think that Michael Jackson passing is a conspiracy. Like, just certain things that happen, I'm like, okay, no, this information absolutely can be found, but it's not until we put something in a video. It's not until we have somebody famous behind it. It's not until everybody starts liking it and not disagreeing with it that we actually start believing it. So here he was setting the scene for something that was absolutely going to be believable. He put it in a documentary. We assume, just like with the Michael Jackson documentary and all these different documentaries, we assume that everything that's in here is supposed to be true, but it's still biased to whoever wrote its opinion. So yeah, I'm thinking in my mind like they probably did this because of that. But then I go back and I hear a little bit of information, listening to other podcasts and other people who've done research on it. Then it comes to find out is Dr. Sebi has a son who shares his name, who's also out here spreading the same information and everything as well too. If you were to have killed anybody, why not start close to home? Why would we have to wait for Nipsey to come along and make him the person who has to go? So, and he's been doing these teachings along with his dad when his dad was alive, and then he's still carrying along that philosophy as well too. So that's when I started changing my mind. Like, okay, this really was just a itch happens.
When he came out and said it, like he came out and said it.
No, I was talking about mainly when he actually died, because I think he like died in police custody or something like that, because they said that I forgot, they said he had like pneumonia or something, like it was something really like off the wall. Like, how did he end up in that situation? Yeah.
So, saying why you saying that was good?
I mean, I just feel like, well, LA is completely different from growing up in East Atlanta, but even I feel like growing up in East Atlanta, like people get shot and killed around here all the time for stupid stuff. Like, so you know, for somebody to pull up on Nipsey in front of his store and kill him, like, it's just, I mean, I just feel like it could just have been a hater, because especially when you get famous and you don't leave your hood, they always say that's when people try to comfort you when you doing good in the city around people that you grew up with. Exactly.
Now let's go. Now we got to take it all the way back. So now we have to talk about just a few of the stories that talked about exactly what happened. So I was looking at an interview where Nipsey homeboy, who was actually in the store with him at that day, was with him. He did a little mini interview on what happened, and he said that whoever this guy is that shot Nipsey came into wherever they were, introduced himself to him, told him that he was an up-and-coming music artist. They exchanged a few words. It was like nothing on no, like, we got beef kind of situation. He was like, he left. He said the friend said I left. I went to go grab my food. He's like, I might have been gone for a few seconds before the guy came back and he shot him. So that's one story that was told. Then another story that was told was that Nipsey had asked the guy if he was a snitch, and you know what I mean, I called him out on some, like, he a bitch nigga, needless to say, kind of situation. And then all of a sudden they had like exchange of words. The guy leaves and come back with a gun because he's furious. I don't know what to believe at this point, because it's like they're trying to set up this scene to say that it happened because of a cause, and not that this is just, like you said, a situation of a hater being a hater.
Alright, so this is why I agree with saying what I said, no conspiracy, and I'm gonna break it down. So when I first heard about it, like I said, I've been on Nipsey Hussle, like I know who he is, you feel me? I've heard about Nipsey Hussle being in the street, you feel me? Like he stay in the street, he's from LA, like he's really about that street life for real. So when I first heard about it, my first thought was, oh, like, damn, something went down. I heard about the documentary, but I didn't know, like, it was that close to being finished or nothing like that. So my mind didn't jump to that. My first thought was, Nipsey's a street dude, so he was in some street shit. That's my first thought. Then all this stuff, the conspiracy theories came popping up. I'm like, oh, okay, that's weird. But then the real story came out. The dude name is Eric Holder. He is a known snitch. It wasn't no he came on, hey, what's up? Nipsey knew who he was. Like, this is all proven as fact. Nipsey knows who he was. They from the same hood. Dude is a snitch, and Nipsey being the type of dude he is like, yo, you can't be around. They're at Nipsey's store. This is his property. He has every right to tell the dude he can't be there. You feel me? Yo, you can't be around here. You a known snitch.
Okay.
Dip. Now, apparently, dude got in his feelings, felt disrespected, left, came back, and shot Nipsey. And you know what I'm saying? It's all on camera. They caught him. He's in custody. They know who he is. They know everything that happened. There's witnesses.
They said he tried to check you into like a mental hospital or something.
My issue with the whole thing, me knowing who Nipsey is and knowing the type of situation that he's in and the type of culture that he's involved in, my problem with it is, why was he able to get touched like this? You feel me? Nipsey Hussle is a big deal, especially in LA.
Well, I mean, it seemed like it was a big deal, but at the same time, it was like he kind of moved freely in his community. Like,
definitely, yes. But we're talking gang culture, right? So we're talking.
So you saying that dude should have just been around him in general?
That's like, yo, this the big homie. Nipsey Hussle fed a lot of people. There's somebody had to be. There's no way everybody just left. So in the video, it shows the dude walked off, came back, shot. The dude shot him, walked off, walked back, shot him some more, walked away, came back, shot him again, kicked him. Nobody stopped this whole thing from going down, and that's where my issue is. Where's all these people who were supposed to be? All these people that showing this love for Nipsey, nobody was around to stop this.
But now, what they are trying to say is that he was out running errands, and so he specified that he did not want nobody to be with him because his main man, his main security guard, was somebody.
Now this is where I gotta explain. We're talking LA gang culture. Nipsey Hussle is a known gang member, known big homie gang member in this neighborhood. He's in his neighborhood.
So you saying why nobody from the street in general was around?
You feel me? He's in front of his store. His store. He's employing all these people. You gotta understand. Y'all really not from this area, so this is a war zone. We're talking.
What he's saying is,
LA is a war zone.
Somebody should have been looking out.
Somebody is always allegedly around when you're in the gang.
This is a gang war zone. We're in LA. You feel me? People's shooting out there all the time. You feel me? There's people's gonna be like, what? There should have been a shootout going on at this point. All these shots run out, and nobody else came out with they gun to be like, yo, what's going on?
Maybe he keep his streets clean. Maybe that was the purpose. He wanted to have a safe area.
There's nothing clean about it.
You may not really understand, because it's a completely different environment, a completely different culture. Like the way they walk around out there, they walk around ready for whatever, you feel me? They walk around ready for that type of stuff, and for nobody to be ready when they're always ready for that's what puzzles me.
Sound real quiet, like maybe it was. Let me not see. That's
I don't know. I guess that's one of the reasons why I was kind of half on it too, because I just feel like in knowing all of this stuff, why would anybody? He basically put a death wish on himself. Even if he didn't mean to kill him, like even if he just shot him, it's just like.
Cause he went back and continued to shoot.
I didn't even watch the video. I don't like watching stuff like that.
I didn't watch the video, but I watched. Read the description of what I would have saw if I watched the video.
I mean, these are all valid points. Where were everybody? Like, why did it feel like all of a sudden now everybody has a blind eye to
in the video, it showed one dude running away.
I'm just glad my baby wasn't there with him.
Who, Laura?
Lauren's
son.
Yeah.
Can we skip to Kodak on that note?
Well, before you skip to
Skip.
well, nah, go ahead. Let's talk about Kodak.
We can talk about Kodak.
Is it too early to lay claims on Lauren?
I think it's way
Absolutely.
early. Lauren she's not even ready to do press right now. She
wasn't even ready to admit that they had
But
something
I mean,
what they had.
people have, I guess, mixed feelings on the comments that Kodak made, because he is notoriously known for
That's why you just said what you just said?
What?
When you just asked, is it too early to lay claim on her?
Because that's what I'm saying. That's what happened in the video. So in the video, he was just like, it wasn't even something where he went on live like to his followers and was just like, oh, this is what it is, this is what it ain't. He was literally just standing around with some of his homies. Somebody had a camera, and
that was his live.
I mean, I'm saying it was his live, but it wasn't like he was going on like he was making a statement.
Don't be fooled by
the dumb Cardi stuff.
Don't be fooled by
So
that.
he
did that on purpose.
So what did he say? I need to know.
So they was like basically chilling, and he was just like, oh, you know, Lauren, she about to be a widow out in these streets. And he was like, now. But yeah, cause she's single, and he was like, I'll give her a year to like grieve or cry or whatever. But But that's what he said. He cleared up when somebody said that.
No, he said he was like, I could be a changed man for her. So he's trying to say.
And he was like, even if she just needs somebody to, you know,
trash,
shoulder to cry on, I'll be there for her. And then that's when somebody was like,
I got a shoulder she can cry on too. So I mean, I feel him like that, but you can't be trying to,
But then when his homeboy was like, oh, you trying to shoot your shot, and he was like, nah, bro, I'm not even on that. Like, so he's semi. I mean, maybe he was just trolling. But he's semi like
he's a troll.
Right. No, okay, so we brought up Kodak Black just to bring in the fact of cancellation of people in the black community and how we go back to like black Twitter saying like you mess up one time and you say something out of line, we done with you. I'm done. That's why Kodak Black was on. So we can't just leave it just yet. Let's talk about this cancellation.
So alright, so after he made the statements, our Mr. Ambassador T.I.
You gotta see the video, girl.
Cause he always goes in on people.
He's talking about.
He was like, bro, you out of pocket.
You out of pocket.
It's real though because if it was his
but wait, it gets better.
He was like, you need to fix that. Word of the day is
expeditiously.
But so T.I. chimed in. What else? The game
came at him like, bruh, like, homie, what the f is you doing? Like,
it's called that Black Gang, remember?
I don't think so.
He might not be blood or hurt, but I'm sure he's
okay, because they do have their own stuff down there. Is he Haitian?
Yeah.
Was he the one who tried to change his name? Who was the black guy from Florida? No, maybe. Okay, anyways, wrong subject, sorry.
Well, Tank chimed in and told Kodak Black to chill.
But then I see something today. The whole thing with cancellation is once I feel like people kind of pick a side with certain situations. Then it's like you have big celebrities that step in, and then it's just like they back that person into a corner. So it's like, okay, T.I. done said something. Then you got, you know, the game, who he always playing games, you know, on social media. So the moment that he get for real serious and he cussing.
He got the audacity to get serious. Don't he be talking about smashing people, women and stuff?
No, but he was very close to Nipsey Hussle as well.
Okay, so
Nipsey Hussle was close to a lot of
Los Angeles.
Even if he wasn't close to
and then out of nowhere, I think I had seen something this morning.
I see.
Where like Big Boy chimed in. Big Boy don't never speak on nothing, and he was just like, bruh, like, you know.
So if we're talking about cancellation, it should also be noted too. It's more than just people saying their two-piece on Instagram. It's actually going to start affecting his pockets. There's been a couple DJs that have came on and said, okay, we're not playing this music in the club anymore. There's been
a whole radio station that said that they weren't gonna play
in Los Angeles.
Not playing this song on the station anymore. So,
but guess what? This is my perspective on the cancellation. People gotta start being held accountable for the stuff that they say. Because it's all fun and games until you live in a real life. Like
it's your situation.
If it's me, I've gotten fired for something I've tweeted before. That shit's real. Why the celebrities need to be held accountable for the dumb shit they say too.
That is true.
Especially if they making all this millions. No, you didn't sign up to be a role model, but neither did I, and I still got fired, so you can get fired too.
You're right, and that's the first cancellation inspiring.
People pick sides. People pick sides. I'm not vouching for him because as soon as he come out with a hot song that everybody on again, people gonna forget about this.
Can't get much hotter than CZ. I think that's about as good as it's going.
So
I mean, you just never know. I feel like it was very disrespectful.
Some people like Kodak Black music. So here's
people from Florida, they love Kodak, which is great. They can have it. They can have all of it. I'm not gonna cancel Kodak, of course not, because Rolling Peace is still one of my favorite songs like ever. So I'm always listen to some Kodak, but at the same time, does that mean I'm gonna spend my money on him? Maybe not, but it's not because of what he said per se. It's just the audacity of him.
Alright, so
3 days after this man dies, like you gonna say some ish like that? It's consequences to certain.
Popular question that's been going around with this cancellation of Kodak Black. Well, jumping on the subject we talked about last week, is it fair? Like nobody did anything, like nothing happened to Cardi, but now like this is affecting Kodak's pockets.
Are we still talking about Cardi and drugging the men?
Yeah.
Okay, so I just heard something that was really important to this whole Cardi situation. Alright, so we canceling Kodak Black as in your behavior is inappropriate and you really need to sit back and chill for a second. But if we're going to take this to Cardi B, because this seems to not be able to die down. I heard the realest thing today, which was anybody who's going to go and sleep with a woman based off paying her any type of money and any type of thing, you knew what you were getting yourself into. It's like I'm
incorrect.
No.
That doesn't fly because you can't flip it.
No.
If it can't apply the other way around.
How would it apply? What woman is out here buying sex?
Are you serious?
Okay, so if she bought the sex and something happened to her,
the same women that's out here buying sex is the same niggas that's out here buying sex from women.
Okay,
it's a very lucrative business.
Lifestyle.
I promise you, cash out the bio is popular.
But this is not. We're not talking about an escort and a reasonable service that's being provided. We're talking about a hood situation where you're buying sex and you're sitting here mad because this happened to you. These is hood chicks you dealing with. What would you expect her to do? She all of a sudden gets class because she came and stuff what you not.
Did not give me what I didn't ask for. Period. That's like you can't.
No, I think what Tab is saying is at the end of the day, you came forth for a service. If at that point Cardi felt like you wasn't gonna deliver, she delivered. If she felt like you wasn't gonna pay her, and she decided that hey, I'ma drug him and I'ma make sure I get mine, cause that's what he promised me. She just said, okay, if you knew you was coming into this situation and you knew you was gonna have to pay.
What I am saying,
let me.
What I am saying is, this is a hood situation. This is a situation where you got people from the streets. We're not dealing with somebody from Wall Street who just came in here and he ordered this prostitute. This is not. We dealing with you found this stripper and she let you know what's up.
So if I go
prostitution is illegal on all levels.
So if I go pick up a prostitute,
whether
and I smash, can I walk out and not pay her?
No, you cannot. But if she brings her big homie in there who ends up putting hands on you because you didn't pay her, so now all of a sudden you the victim because she just got you beat up because you didn't pay.
So wait, who's the victim? If I go have
that's what I'm saying. This is a victimless situation. She cannot be guilty in this situation. She cannot be guilty in this situation when he came into the situation.
That does not fly. That doesn't fly.
Okay, no. Here we go. So you go to your so somebody chooses to go to their weed man's house and all of a sudden their raid happens. And the weed man house, a raid happens. And you get locked up too. But you haven't bought nothing there, but you walked into there and that's what was expected to happen for you to purchase something. And you get in trouble. Are you mad because you're sitting in jail with everybody else?
Am I mad? Yeah, I'm mad. I'm not.
So why are you mad? Because you're locked up, right?
Yeah.
It's just being in the situation at hand.
Yeah.
That's this Cardi B and this drugging situation.
That's not the same thing. That's like if they call the police on me and I'm just going to get a dime.
No. It's the worst case scenario.
No. That's if the boss drug dealer who owns a trap house called and set up the raid at the same time I'm coming in to just buy a dime bag. That's what the scenarios are equal. It's taking something that you're expecting and taking it out of proportion. She's
so you just said she set them up.
That's fair. She drugged these men. They didn't go there expecting drugs. They went there expecting sex.
Right, from a stripper.
If I go expecting sex, if I go have sex with a prostitute, she's expecting money from me.
So what happens to the person who gets AIDS from having sex with a prostitute?
Lord, how did we get that?
No. What I'm saying is, what I'm saying is that there are outcomes because of the situation that you're dealing with. I cannot expect to be in a street situation and not expect some street stuff to happen.
Okay, even if I expect it to happen or not, she's still wrong for doing it.
It's a respect of the street.
Respect in a stripper and you having sex with her.
It's a code. It's a code for shit.
But it's a street code.
That's
so
not street code. You don't drug and rob people. That's not street code.
This is very common in that particular community.
It's wrong.
I'm not saying that she's right for what she did, but I'm saying she put her on the level like that.
Okay, cool, you expected the street stuff. So what? It's still wrong. Like you can say a prostitute getting raped is just street stuff. She should expect it because she's in the street and she's being a prostitute. But then you can't. Is her being raped okay? Because she should expect it.
It's the lifestyle that she lives.
Oh, you showing yo
it's
red.
It's the lifestyle that she lives.
No, I'm not saying that she no, it's not that she deserves, but it's a possible outcome when you decide that you're gonna take on that lifestyle.
Does the basketball player have if they get hurt? We say it comes with the sport, right? If you lose your job because of, like you said, I lost my job because I tweeted something. It came with the job, right?
But it's different. Somebody else is doing something.
Like I said, hold celebrities accountable.
Let's take the drinking in the sense. I mean, if you talking about even with athletes, if they bring girls back to the room and they get drunk and stuff like that, and the girl rob them for their jury, hey, you knew that you was bringing these girls from off the street that you ain't know.
Whatever it was, you put on that risk when you started dating this girl. I don't know why you thought you was getting that classic situation. I done called it to the escort. Yes, I would like to order.
All right, so bring it full
minus
circle.
the drugs.
Well, when you leave me in your house,
so it's
let's discuss the fact that there's a lot of time when men invite women over to their place with drinks on the table.
Listen,
and your intention is to smash, whether she came here to smash or not. But you provide her all them drinks and you started making her feel comfortable. She got a little loose and you had sex with her. But she maybe gave a little bit of consent because she showed up. But does that make her wrong, or does that make you wrong for giving her those drinks?
No. Hold on,
I'm not giving her.
Here's my question to you. So she says great.
So she drinking all the shots. He didn't pour up the shots because what I'm trying to make this equivalent to is Cardi dropping the pills in that drink. I'm trying to know. Pouring that drink is like me putting these pills into your cup.
Me pouring the drink is not making
you drink it on your own.
So we done got this conversation so far gone.
She's showing out. I need you. Okay, we gonna move on because
So look. So the whole reason the conversation came about. So like I was trying to bring it full circle. So is Cardi drugging these men not worse than Kodak saying something on Instagram Live?
It's definitely worse. Cardi's definitely worse.
But nothing.
Yeah, but she did some action.
So why is it that nothing happened to Cardi, but now we're regretting canceling?
But that's
I will go on record to say something did happen to Cardi because Please Me still hasn't hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 because Ariana Grande got 3 songs up there in the top 5 because who doesn't want to hear her 3 songs all the time? Nah, it's really not though. Please Me should have been #1. A radio station is not, you're not telling me that you're playing 3 Ariana Grande songs more times each hour than you playing Please Me.
But you know, this, I think
it was at #2.
Cardi,
but now it's like 7.
I don't think that it'll be a situation where it's like they gonna fully cancel her because I think this weekend started her residency in Vegas, so she about to be cooling out for a little minute. She ain't finna be acting crazy and doing all of that stuff.
My question is, so this happened before we knew the Cardi that we know, right?
No, it was during the time that we knew that Cardi.
That's what
Cardi
was
talking about. Are you
Another
talking
hip-hop
about?
Cardi.
Okay, so this was when she, so it's in a situation where she was still grooming. So yes, should she be punished for what she did because nobody should get drugged? Okay, that's true. Nobody should get drugged. Yes. What I was just trying to explain was this is a different kind of lifestyle that they were living. Not saying that she shouldn't be punished for what she's doing, but it is a different type of a lifestyle that is being lived. these things are expected to happen versus something that is a rarity to happen. That's it. You know.
I think everyone's just too sensitive all the way around, if you ask me.
What? And I feel like it's also a double standard, of course, because at the end of the day, if given the opportunity, how many of these men that actually recall Cardi doing all of this stuff are gonna come forward and be the face and say, "Hey, I was in a situation
Not many
where."
because they embarrassed.
Yeah, so it's just one of those things where
because the street now they embarrassed because they got hooded out first because they couldn't get to her or get over her. No, whatever. I ain't hood, but you understand that the principle is that they got. That's the problem. And then they got by female who bragged about it. That's why they ain't saying anything.
Then they'll probably get more clout for saying, "Hey, I was one of them dudes."
Rape culture is very real, people. That's all I'm gonna say on the topic.
Real, but
if
we're gonna talk about this and we're gonna discuss this, let's go ahead because this is not on the list. But I want to bring it up. I want to discuss Freaknik.
Oh, Freaknik.
Yeah, Freaknik. I want to discuss that one. I just want to discuss it because if we're going to talk about rape culture, then definitely this is something that is.
I said how.
But it's a part 2. They got a part 2 where after 5 o'clock, then it's supposed to be adults only, and then that's when everything is going to get ready.
Y'all think I'm gonna keep my kids at home?
No, I think they were trying to get money.
But it's not gonna be the same thing. Like I personally want to go to the concert because I like Lakewood. That's one of my favorite venues.
I hate that place. I had a very bad situation that happened there when I went to go see Future. They was pepper spraying and everything.
Well, that's hood stuff.
Straight to the face. Not friends with Lakewood, but I will go back. But I'm not friends with Lakewood.
Yeah, I like Lakewood, but I feel like with yes, I want to go to that concert. Yes.
All right, we done.
Okay, but I feel like, of course, a lot of people are down in it because it's like, oh, y'all bringing all the artists of that time, but it's not true gonna be Freaknik. First of all, with Freaknik, I felt like
it's too much Me Too.
I mean, I guess it would have been a turn type of situation, but when you really look at it and what they was doing, y'all was literally in the street.
Yeah,
like
it was a big block party. Y'all was blocking down 75 and all that down there downtown, and y'all hung out and y'all listened to music, and ladies walked by half naked, and men did. And
that was a turn.
Don't go to Freaknik if you ain't trying to freak Nick, okay? Cause Nick gonna be waiting, watching, trying to get the friends. You better be waiting, and ready.
Yeah,
but
what you was just describing was some watered down.
But that's what it's gonna be.
That's not what my Freaknik
is.
Yeah, but that's what they wanted to be.
That's the premise. First of all, you just laid the groundwork of what.
We got too much technology, so they not gonna allow all of that craziness that went on back then.
That's the
all we need.
That's why they went
Migos and Travis Porter, the Migos, Travis Porter, and Magic City, and we got Freaknik. That's all we need.
That's true. But my thing is that he's the one who called it and said basically
first of all,
family friendly in the beginning. Yeah, he even did it.
Uncle Luke can stay his ass in Florida.
It's his event.
Not here.
Y'all tripping. Who gonna go to an Uncle Luke event and then be on the scandal the next day?
I'm not trying to go to no Uncle Luke event in my city.
Watch how all of Atlanta and everybody that y'all talking about gonna be in there lit.
Ying Yang Twins, come on down.
It's gonna be a whole bunch of people walking around.
Come on down.
We
don't need Uncle Luke to throw us a fucking Freaknik. We got Tip, bruh, Nelly, come on, Tip girl, let's do it.
They're not about that lifestyle anymore. They're not about.
T.I. Ludacris might not be about that lifestyle, but T.I. is definitely
T.I.'s not about to do but he's not gonna do it in that. He's gonna be more classy with how he does it.
We can have a classy Freaknik.
It's gonna be classy.
There could be the 35 and up Freaknik, and then.
Wait a minute.
Sir.
I do not put my stamp on that one.
He had to change for the better.
I believe that
he has to change for the better of his family.
Businessman.
T.I. still was sending choppers on that.
He was in the hood and now he's out, but T.I.'s not hood no more.
T.I. was still sending the shooters for that ass. Man, nothing. Try Tip in my city, bruh. T.I. is the king of Atlanta in the South. Like, I'm going to always ride for Tip, bruh. he only doing this because he couldn't get in trouble no more. He had to stay for the fam. He definitely got the people on speed dial waiting to make the move for him. Because that's what you do when you have money like that.
That's true. That's what you're supposed to do.
Exactly.
That's what you're supposed to do when you have that kind of money. Leave
Why you
other
think
people to do
Jay-Z
your
out here
business
living
for
his
you.
best life? I'm pretty sure he got haters after him. It's just one
He
word.
keep a small circle though. He is such a high level of how he's doing
Shit, if I'm
That's
Jay-Z,
not
I'm using Beyonce's money to hire the hitman.
Yeah, it was crazy.
To be had this all.
That's what I'm saying. They'll buy it still.
Yes.
Free front row tickets on the run tour. Oh, I'm on that.
I was thinking the other night, like, I'd be devastated if Jay-Z died. Yeah.
Ugh.
We're not even
That
gonna
would-
read that.
Unfortunately, that probably would hurt me more than Nipsey, but I just don't like Jay-Z like that. But it would have an effect on me because he does make good music, so I can't hate on him on that.
On the
And
back.
I feel like he has a different impact on the community because he shows that you can come from one thing and then you can be an entrepreneur, be this business owner in a way that you're really, because I mean, I subscribed to Tidal and I thought it was some BS at first, but
Did you watch the festival on Tidal yesterday?
I didn't know.
Oh man, you should.
But you know, it's their, you know, it's their own, you
Jay
know,
is doing
it'll
things
keep
like,
rolling.
Jay's doing
I like
He's
Jay-Z's
jumping
business
trends.
moves.
Y'all saw that where they said Jay-Z had started a $15 million trust fund for Nipsey Hussle's kids?
Yeah,
I saw
know
that.
Is it true yet?
Nah,
Has
that's not
anybody
true.
They said
confirmed
it
it?
was false,
They said it's
but
not true.
my thing, I like the moves that Jay-Z makes. Growing up, like even
He's an
still
older guy now,
kind of
yeah.
now, like the person that I always looked up to as a black
crazy
media
how
person
he's
is Diddy. But
Because he's a
Jay-Z
different
makes a lot of low key moves that a lot of people don't like. You really won't know about what Jay-Z is doing unless you look for the stuff that he's doing, because he's not the person to brag about all the stuff that he does,
That's true.
which I like that. But his sports management, I definitely think that was like amazing for him. Like, he got some great athletes under him too.
Speaking of bragging, right? Y'all saw the Paul Pierce talking about he better than Dwayne Wade.
Nice segue there. Okay.
This guy,
Yes. After this.
Paul Pierce. Let's just thank whoever decided it was a great idea to put Paul Pierce on TV, because you gave us some great content. Because who told Paul Pierce to even think that he had a better career in the NBA than Dwayne Wade? Like, he had the audacity to get on television and say this with full confidence.
So was he saying that he had a better? I think he admitted he didn't have a better career. What he was saying was, in his prime, he was a better player than Dwayne Wade. That's what he.
Which would be very incorrect, because the only thing that Paul Pierce was great at was shooting. Dwayne Wade was a great overall basketball player.
That's real.
He was a 3-time defensive player. On the teams at the end, all defense, 3 times.
That's an all-star?
Yeah, no, all defense. It's like they do all defense team, like the AP poll stuff.
Okay.
Anyway, it's like Dwayne Wade, even without LeBron, had a better career than Paul Pierce. Like, if you take away LeBron, D-Wade still has a ring.
And
Like,
it's Shaq,
But
though.
Pierce said that was with Shaq.
Pierce, who did you win your one ring with? The squad. Kevin Garnett, Rondo, right? All them. Come on, dog. It's not as simple as you trying to make it seem. Like, D-Wade was a scoring champ. How is Paul Pierce best athlete shooting? These cuts are so abrupt.
They're
Meanwhile-
perfect. They're perfect because the right pause comes in and then it's like press play.
Meanwhile, Gabriel Union got on Twitter saying, she had to play the black man going up against a black man card, saying Paul Pierce should be ashamed of himself, that he has to try to tear down somebody that looks like him, face similar challenges, etc., etc. I'm like, okay, Gabby, I feel you, but
that was just too far. Like,
you
my
could have
goodness, can people just not compare themselves anymore?
What you could have just did was put up 3 rings. It's greater than
Google
one.
his stats and compare
right.
the stats.
Take a screenshot of the stats
compared to each other. But like, I think if we go back to last week's episode, just a snippet, I think that is the problem with black culture in general is we don't like to be a little competitive. As soon as we get a little competitive, tend to sensitivity. And I think it's okay if he wants to say that he was better. I think that not saying that it's true. I'm not saying that it's true, but what I'm saying is that
It's
everybody
good to have
should
that confidence in
be.
yourself.
That's all.
Okay,
So I was just about to say, so
Now, if it gains traction or clout on social media, then it is what it is. But I mean, if that man in his heart of hearts,
Right.
I don't
So-
watch sports, but if he think in his heart of hearts he better,
I'm not
I
here
feel
for
like
it.
today's culture is way too This man is
Let him say what he wanna say.
That's all he just made a statement.
is a basketball player. He's a competitor.
I don't even think
what
Paul
you
Pierce
expect him
gonna
to
make
say?
the Hall of Fame, bro.
But what do you expect him to say? If you ask him, I'm a competitor. I rap. You
I
ask me who's
understand.
better. I'm
You're
better.
supposed to say you're
I'm
the
better
best.
I'm better than anybody. You
Okay,
ask.
confidence
So,
killed the cat.
He's a basketball player. You
Ask shot
ask him
players.
compare him to another basketball player. He's gonna choose
Courage
himself
killed
over
the
anybody
cat.
else. And then it just got out of proportion.
It really was blown out of proportions. I mean, we could obviously look up
That man
stats and tell who was the better person. I just think as a man, it's okay for him to. Men, you guys go back and forth all the time like that, Women do it too when we say, oh, I'm prettier than her, but then when you look at those people, you be like, no,
Okay.
you're not prettier than
Y'all
me.
talking about competition,
Of course, that
but
man
this
gonna say,
is the
if you
real
ask him
deal.
who's better, him or somebody else, he gonna say him.
Which is great. He could have said that, but you have to be realistic. Like, if you're gonna say that, let your blanket statement be, in my opinion, I feel like I had a better career than D-Wade.
did somebody
Yeah,
throw
but he
the bait out there for him to say that, or just said it to say it?
It was
Listen, he
definitely a
never
part
said
of
he
the
had a
set.
better career because he knows that can be traced and looked at on the stats. All he said
In my
was
prime.
he is a better player in his prime. Like and you can't blame him for feeling like that.
I feel like, why are you talking about your prom, dog?
They asked him a question. They asked him. That was the question they asked him.
I respectfully declined, but just know I was a baller. This is why, Chris Brown needs to just go ahead and call me so I can be his PR person and spin all his craziness because I got that.
Chris,
Like,
please give Samuel
he really,
social etiquette.
Paul Pierce, these people gonna realize every question does not have to be answered
Right.
the way that you think. You have to answer it. Like, you really don't have to answer every question. Or it's a certain way
He's
you
the
can
host
answer
on the
every
show.
question.
He has to talk.
It's a way that
I
you
think,
can.
and that's
But he's
you can
being
girl stuff
himself.
around
That's
it.
the one thing about those sports segments is that they don't have a guideline, a template that they're supposed to do. Right now,
Right.
they still set in. So now he'll know for the future, like maybe next time or for the
Don't
next
say
person,
the
they'll
bait.
say exactly. But for them, they still trying to learn that. See, these are a lot of players who coming out of the league now, and they're just hopping in front of the camera. And so they're taking that basketball mentality where they would have said if he had just got done with a game and they said, "Are you better than Dwayne Wade?" and he'd be like, "Yeah, I'm better."
You want
the game. He still was like,
You
yo,
want me, you want me, a journalist, that could be on the show doing much better than these players, to have sympathy for them when they say stupid shit?
But
No,
you're the journalist, so you understand what
exactly, because it's school for this. You have
Then tell him, Paul Pierce, you need to go to school.
Make the show popping. You
Go
on the
to
show.
school.
it is a level to this shit.
Go to
And
school.
everybody should
Go
not be
to
in front of the
school.
camera doing this shit.
Well, the problem is everybody want to have commentary. Let the man say what he want to say, but you got people coming out. Nah, these is the set.
These
he
are
got
the
three
facts.
rings.
These
He got
are
this.
facts.
They did this. It's
He
like,
did
bro,
this.
let that man make his little
Dwayne-
comment and go on by his life.
Paul Pierce, you played in the NBA for 18 years. Dwayne Wade has played in the NBA for 16 years. Dwayne Wade has made 8 All-Star games. Paul Pierce only made 6. You played 2 years older than me.
Exactly.
Look, let me tell you something.
People like Sam is the reason why this is even a thing right now.
A
Why
seat
this is a hot
Paul
topic.
Pierce. and do your job. You should have sat there and ate your food.
Okay. Looking for tips. I'll make sure I capture the episode is gonna be.
So what's next?
Alright, so we done had our little sports moment. We are definitely gonna close this moment. Let us talk about Joe Biden. Alright, so I'll set up the scene. I'm gonna go ahead and explain the situation. So what we have here is a case where there are some women, and it goes back to I think like 2009, maybe a little bit older, but definitely in 2009, where it is discussed that Joe Biden has been inappropriate with ladies, not in a sexual manner, sexual assault. Let me finish.
Uncle Joe.
Did he grab the cooch like?
No vaginas were grabbed in this segment. But what ended up happening is some lady said that he head to head with them too long. He Eskimo kissed with, you rub noses.
Oh, that's so cute.
He did little stuff like that to them, but they felt like it was inappropriate. One lady felt like she thought that she was gonna be kissed, and they felt like he was in such a powerful position that they couldn't really say anything about it, but they decided to speak up on it now. Now, my question about Joe Biden is not if the situation is true or not. We really don't care if it's true or not. The situation is he their sacrificial goat in this situation? Is he our R. Kelly, our Bill Cosby? Is he that for white people?
Could never.
But that's my thought. So there we go. So in my mind, this is what I feel. We've seen so many black men in the community who have been bashed for their situations that they've had with women. And so I feel like these women have spoken up. Not saying that they're right or wrong. I really don't care about that part. But are we trying to attack Joe because he's running for, or he's possibility for throwing in his hat for the 2020 presidential candidate?
Who's attacking Joe?
I was like, who's attacking?
No. All of the media who have been reporting this have been called a sexual assault.
Fox News.
But they've been attacking it in a negative
I just want to, we got to verify what we're talking about here.
It wasn't on my black
because it wasn't on, exactly, I haven't seen none of this.
Because he's not a black man, that's why we haven't seen it.
No. He's a Democrat, white man, which means any news media that slander him is going to be Fox News and Republican based. CNN is not slandering Joe Biden, I promise you.
We're still talking about it.
I just want to know what's going on. I know, but I would like to see it.
Yeah, like.
You need proof?
Like we talking about, like, and what
can't do Uncle Joe like that.
Like Bill Cosby and R. Kelly are like, Bill Cosby's in jail, R. Kelly is
in jail.
Cases. Like what's Joe Biden's issue? Like,
no, she said, is he gonna be like the sacrificial lamb?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But it looks like we're not trying to go for somebody who we can actually prosecute. We're trying to throw somebody else up under the bus. So now that brings me to my next thought is, are we digging into Joe because he's associated with, okay, choice of words are wrong. Is he attached to the black community? So is it okay to bring him up the same way we would throw any black man up on the bus? Doesn't matter who he is. Is Joe their version of the black man?
Are you asking, did they throw him under the bus
black man's representation in a white man's face?
Obama.
Is Joe their sacrificial goat because he is a black man attached in a white man's face?
Is that how they
That's
look
what
at
I'm asking you. That's what I am asking. Because that is my theory.
I didn't know they look at him like that.
That is my theory.
So you believe that they look at him like that, so therefore they're throwing him on the bus because of that.
And attaching him to this Me Too movement that they've attached.
Because nobody else in the white community
clearly black
faces. Is he their definition of black face? If you gave it a symbolic look, is Joe their black face?
I think if it is.
That is so. First of all, can we just pause and take a breath? For me, that is a great analogy that I just used. Okay, keep going. Sorry, I appreciate it because it really made you think.
I'm not here for it, sweetie.
You don't, as in you don't agree. As you don't agree, because that's. I'm just trying to have a little bit of banter about it. That's all.
You have to give me more time on that topic to see how it progresses, to see what actually happens.
Yeah.
Because at this point, all that shit that you just said, that's news to me.
Okay.
Yeah, like
And I follow the news that's important to me. And I feel like what I heard more about Joe Biden recently, as opposed to that, is how Stacey was saying she wouldn't run with him. Stacey Abrams.
So is Joe supposed to be a presidential candidate for 2020?
But wait, yeah, they tossing. You know, they always tossing out names because all the people that's running right now ain't gonna be Trump. So they just they were trying to talk about a Biden
Which is crazy
Abrams
to me
ticket.
how he is attached to so many.
But wait,
That's what
they
I'm
were
saying. So how can
saying.
we throw Biden under the bus when Trump grabbed the cooch?
Well, we've been trying to throw. We've been trying to throw Trump under the bus.
The allegations is Eskimo knows somebody like Trump grabbed the cooch and he's president.
He married a fucking escort.
Ain't nothing about to happen to Joe.
I don't think.
So then that goes back to the original thought is how come black men, if a black man had did exactly what Joe did, he would have been prosecuted by now already because he physically made contact in some manner.
Man.
He'd have already been
I feel like
in
seeing
jail.
a black man. I haven't seen no black man get prosecuted
Black man gets no babies.
for Snow Bunny and I'm sorry. Michael Jackson star just sitting chilling. You know, it's all kinds of people that they don't really care. I feel like Donald Trump star still sitting there.
That's
why I
said
said
a lot of crazy stuff happens in
with
Hollywood.
Kodak and all these other people, as soon as they do something that's deemed
Cardi
as
B's definitely been a star.
great or something that they feel like, they like this song or what have you, it's like, oh, well, they're not canceled anymore. Or you have people who, again, you have people that build these connections with these artists and these people, and you really, for the life of you, can't understand, well, why would somebody love somebody like Kodak? Like, why would they, look up to him and him be a role model, but you just never really know. So, unless everybody gets on one page and say, oh, we're going to cancel this person, we are not going to listen to their music. With R. Kelly, I don't agree with what he did, but people still feel a connection with his music, and they're gonna try to forget all of those things that they seen in the documentary and seen in the news because they just remember how he made them feel.
Is it possible to get everybody on one accord like that?
No, because it's always gonna be somebody that buck the system that be like, girl, he ain't do that. Was you there was you in them houses? Was you locked up?
Right.
Everybody has their own things about the situation because I'm not gonna open back up that topic.
Here you go.
Hunty, don't you do it.
Here you go.
So
Queen drug toad, right?
listen, I am a Cardi B fan. I will always be a Cardi B fan.
Just because you're a fan of somebody doesn't mean you have to ride for them without having your eyes open to the obvious.
No, the eyes are open and the eyes are saying it just happened. And
I'm a Chris Brown fan, but I still don't think domestic violence is right. So
he still got himself into that situation.
Who said that?
Maybe he shouldn't.
Did you see the documentary?
I absolutely watched the documentary. I was talking about the guy with Cardi B.
Yeah.
And Rihanna she was wrong too in her situation.
You know them islanders. I ain't trying to get nobody upset and all, but y'all crazy.
Whoa. How did I get it?
It's a different island.
They are always, everything in that Caribbean Ocean is destined to
It's
be.
in the fish.
I don't know nothing about none of that. I don't know what y'all talking about.
LOL. As you take the trip.
I be chilling.
Oh, you can I show the people your hat?
Oh yeah, I love this hat.
He's a mag, not
Make America
not
great.
mag.
Like I said again, it was never
but
great before,
mag,
so we're
yeah.
still working on it.
Nice way to end out with. I'm
I'm
hoping that your hat grabs a lot of traction and we can maybe have a little topic about it on next week's episode.
Shout out to the show Atlanta because I forgot the actor's name. That was on that episode.
So let me point out that I definitely had this hat before that episode came out.
I'm just saying, that's what I
Definitely had this hat
remember.
for a while, so you can go check my IG.
Y'all wasn't arguing today. I'm confused. Like, I feel like
There was a whole person between us, and you know, you like the topics today, Sam. So
Yeah, you was actually awake today. You was here with us today. Man, we always have to end off with our positive words of the day. So,
The word of the day is expeditiously.
which means
According to Mr. Ambassador.
do we want the Webster definition of that, or
basically with a quickness.
With
Yeah.
Swiftly. Swiftly. Oh, we're going with
It doesn't matter.
counterclockwise.
Whoever got the juice.
I got you.
Eeny, meeny.
Mine and Mo.
Oh, you got me. Alright, well, my positive words for today is don't be on social media going outside. You do not have to say everything that comes to your mind.
And mine kind of is a rebuttal to that. Like, my positive word for the day is really say what you want to say. Like, I'm tired of people being so oversensitized. Like, everything is an issue. What happened to our rights as Americans to have free speech?
You still get to say what you want to say. But it's always, just like she says, consequences for your actions.
There's consequences, but if you're not saying anything that's like
Still be respectful.
incriminating or like just super disrespectful, I just feel like it's okay.
Like, I'm saying, you got freedom of speech. You can say what you want to say. You get locked up, but if you don't want to, you keep your mouth closed. You know what I'm saying? You got choices. You don't always talk it.
Which
But-
brings me
Well,
to.
can I get my own before you?
Yeah.
Just-
Give me the juice.
Nah, I definitely gotta give my respect to Nip on mine. You feel me? Rest in peace to Nip, Sir Nipsey Hussle, Mr. Rolling 60s. You feel me? Mine is the marathon continues. That's what he stood for. You know what I'm saying? Running the long race. You know what I'm saying? Doing your research, putting in the work, and focusing on a goal and taking the time and focusing on it and getting it done. And I feel like that's a huge system or ideology to follow, and I feel like it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? In this day and age where it's all about instant gratification and everybody trying to do something right now to get attention, Nip showed you that you can build yourself up as a businessman, entrepreneur, icon, idol, whatever, family man, husband, anything. So keep it pushing. Hard work over everything. Marathon continues.
We'll save it for next episode. So my positive words are going to. You made it in somebody's future hustle, whatever. My positive words for today are going to be, first of all, everybody is entitled to their own opinion. They can say whatever they would like, and you are entitled to accept that information how you choose to accept it, whether you agree with it or you disagree. So I think once we get to that point where we can understand that I have a right to say how I feel and you have a right to take it how you want to take it, then I think things will start going much easier for us. With that being said, we're unfiltered.